I'm standing in the sanctuary at the cathedral. A church is divided into 5 parts. The narthex, where we enter. The nave, where we sit during worship. We cross the transept to get into the chancel, and from the chancel we move into the sanctuary. The sanctuary is where the altar is, and behind me you see the altar. Now, altars in Anglican churches used to be flush against the wall, right up against the reredos. That's that big panel at the back. Reredos means behind. So, time was that the priest had his back, or her back later, to the congregation during the consecration of the elements for Holy Communion. That changed somewhere around the 1970s, so that the priest faced the congregation, and we all took part in the consecration of the elements for Holy Communion. We were able to see the gestures, and everything had its meaning. The altar has some interesting carvings on it. To my right, your left, we see wheat. To my left, your right, we see grapes. Wheat for bread, grapes for wine, the elements of the Holy Communion. In the middle, we have a very common Christian symbol. It's I, H, S. And some people will tell you it means in his service. No, it doesn't. It means in hoc signis. There was a time when the Emperor Constantine, the emperor of the Roman Empire, was preparing for battle. And he had a vision. And the vision showed a flaming cross in the sky, and a voice from heaven said, "In this sign you will conquer." Well, actually, the voice said it in Latin, starting out with in hoc signis, in this sign. Well, Constantine was so impressed. And that's when Christianity became the state religion of the Roman Empire. Behind the altar is the reredos, as we said, and it too has carvings. In the middle, of course, it has the cross. Crosses are everywhere in cathedrals and in churches. To the right, your left, you'll see a carved figure of a woman. I'm presuming that that's Mary Magdalene because she has a small jar at her foot. And Mary Magdalene is always shown in art with a small jar of ointment, which she used to anoint Jesus. On the left is our patron, St. John. My left, your right. That's St. John. And you know it's St. John because at his foot there's an eagle. And the eagle is the symbol of St. John. I'm sitting in a very special chair. This is the chair that is normally reserved only for the bishop. It's called a cathedra. That's a very fancy word meaning the bishop's chair. This whole thing is the cathedra, from the canopy down to the floor. This is where the bishop sits when he is worshiping at the cathedral and when we are using the high altar for Holy Communion. Other than that, nobody sits in this chair. Now, next to the cathedra is this little piece of furniture. Now, it serves no particular liturgical purpose. Anybody can sit in it. It's called the Glastonbury chair, probably because it says something about Glastonbury on the back. We don't know how it got here. It just happens to be the oldest piece of furniture in the whole cathedral. I'm told that it has been here since 1852. That's well over 150 years. I'm sitting in one of the sedalia. There are 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. These are the chairs which are reserved for the canons of the cathedral. Canons are clergy and lay people who are appointed by the bishop as an advisory to the dean. So, these are their chairs. The problem is, we have something like 9 canons, and unless we stack them, they can't sit in the chairs reserved for canons. So what we've done is we've moved the canons into the transept, where they all sit very comfortably in their own seats, not piled on top of one another, and this now becomes the seating for the lay reader and the servers when we are worshiping using the high altar.